We'll just cut it in here then. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, I'm Fish from VanillaTV, back once again for another demo review of a Division 3 ETF2L match. Going to be watching Team OS against Trick17 Full HD. Been asked to watch kind of from the team point of view of Trick17, so that's mainly the team we'll be focusing on this demo review. So just to quickly run down the roster for Trick17 HD, it's Sean on Medic, you've got Tawks on Demoman, you've got Bubschen on Soldier, oh god, Gronon on Soldier, Balck on Scout, and the other Scout is Blitz. And for the Team OS, you've got Stalemate on Medic, Mixu on Demo, Anam on Soldier, AQ on Soldier, Bobber H on Scout, and Moosepoose on Scout as well. Once again, my poor pronunciation of names has failed me, but I have an excuse. I have a bit of a cold at the moment. So just going to be watching from the point of view mainly from Sean of the Medic. Might switch through to a few different classes this time. Again, might experiment a little bit as we didn't last time, or I might just let it go with the flow. We'll see how it goes. Once again, if you want your demos reviewed by myself and Brain, please just drop Brain or myself a message in #VanillaTV. That's where we tend to idle. You're probably better off messaging Brain as he's a lot more organised than me. He has a list, whereas I have nothing. So if you're ready on the stream, Brain, I need to bring on my demo. If you're ready to resume in 3, 2, 1, resume. Do have a treat coming up for you guys. I've actually got an American team that have sent me a demo. I was watching it earlier with the comms, and it was quite an entertaining match to watch, like the differences between an American team and a Europe team. So we do have an American one upcoming. When I grab Brain and sort that out, it'll hopefully be up in a week's time. So I'm going to float above the midpoint here on the first granary mid. You can see the blue demo slightly quicker than the red demo, but a little bit of damage over. A pretty patient mid by both teams is kind of mirrored here. The blue soldier has gone over for the medic, but what that blue soldier has done by going on the medic, he's actually created a distraction which has worked in Team OS's favour. My god, it's going to be a bad review, I can just sense it. It worked in the Team OS's favour because what happened is that one soldier that jumped over took the distraction of the other two soldiers on Trick17, and it gave Team OS the chance to come across the point and just obviously capture the point. The only good thing that worked in Trick17 is Sean could recognise that mid was actually lost, so he's pulled out. Watching through the point of view of Sean now, the Trick17 have quite a decent Uber advantage, so they've got the option to push the yards. So we'd like him here to be pushing the yard, making sure they've obviously checked entrances like the drop down. They may choose not to push it. I mean, it's a bit unwise. They should be taking the yard at the opportunity they can, choosing to come out through the garage, which is probably a wise choice. Most people now choose to come out through the Z or the garage, move over to the left, obviously force the team back. Again, just nice pressure by the Demoman and Soldier here. My only criticism at the moment is that this push is too slow. Obviously AQ has jumped in, given Sean a bit of damage, and he's actually bought his team the chance to get that Uber up. Trick17 may think they still have an Uber advantage, but they no longer do. As you can see, that advantage just gone. Actually just get a pick on the Demo Man from Gronon there. A really nice pick on the demo. Obviously a demo or a med pick is the picks that I look for, because then you can just walk through onto the point, no dangerous stickies. So that demo pick has pretty much won them this midpoint. So Mixu going down as Demo Man there. Even Ubers again, so should see Trick17 just probably build up their Uber as the Demo Man spawned up, so you can have sticky traps through in the yards at the moment. So a nice push from Trick17 to recapture the mid. They really utilise, they're in a position to utilise the pick by the soldier there on the demo. Just going to see them build up an Uber here.
Yeah, they should have a Solly at that one crate, I think.
Yep, Brain is right, they don't actually have any cover on the right side. They had everything over the left for a couple of seconds there, which could have cost them if they chose to come in. I don't particularly like the area that Sean's in at the moment. Just stay in there. He has been taken down by a sticky trap, and that is probably the fault of the Demoman and the soldier that's gone through first. They should have clearly checked for sticky traps there and called for that there was sticky traps, unless they called it and Sean perhaps forgot to Uber. But it has cost them this midpoint, and just something as silly as that dropped Uber. You're a lot safer just to Uber through that point there, push onto them with the Uber and pull back. Yeah, they have full blue.
So that's pretty cool. Spawn back.
I need your config brain so I can quickly switch to Sean. But what you can see, the position they've left in now, so Trick17 Full HD have actually gone from pushing CP2, or pushing the yard as it was, they're now actually trying to hold on to last. You can see that Team OS took enough down with that Uber at mid, and the medic was fully right to use his Uber. The medic just died, so he's still got an Uber advantage for this last push. Criticism here at Trick17 is I wouldn't be running a scout anymore. The heavy is a wise choice, but that scout potentially could be playing something more potent, perhaps a sniper. Demoman's gone down here. Sean's got nothing to heal at the moment. It's not looking good for Trick17 unless they pick up a couple of frags. They have picked up the demo, which is a nice pick. The heavy's now out on point, so the choice to run a heavy here is really wise. The heavy's going to obviously bulk it up, and they are going to hold on to it. They do have an Uber advantage. It'll be interesting to see if they push. If you see the Demoman's just spawning, so being aware of these spawners when you are playing TF2 is really important, because when I first start to play a PCW, obviously we play a lot of teams regularly and we already know who plays Demo and Medic for that team. So it's really handy to know from the outset, especially if you're in a PCW, straight away who is playing the Demoman and the Medic, because they're the players you want to track the most. You want to know when the Demoman's dead, you want to know when he's spawned, because then all the advantages are stickies. You can see a little bit of a foul push there by Trick17 while I blab on about something that's not important. A little bit of a foul push by Trick17. The issue was they didn't get enough of a cap time. By running a heavy, they've dropped off as scouts, so they needed to get a little bit more cap presence there. You can see how close that point was to caps. They never stopped the other team coming back in, and it is going to result in a round loss. Focus up a little bit, Fish. Stop rambling on about something else. So a nice round by Team OS, and just going back to, a real tip for especially newer teams out there when you're playing TF2. When you're playing a PCW, try to get hold of who's playing Demo and Medic straight away. That's where you want to be pressing your scoreboard key, your tab key. You want to be hammering it quite a lot as a main caller and working out Demoman's not spawned yet, because they're the advantages that are going to win you rounds of the Demo and Medic picks. Two soldiers are nice as well, but it's really the Demo and Medic. So on the second middle here, see, very similar to mids before, except Trick17 are a little bit more aggressive on this mid. A soldier jumping over who has been taken down. They have lost 3 players. The only thing for them here is they just need to fall out. They need to get those last 3 people up. So a second mid in a row there where Trick17 haven't really contested or done very much on mid at all. I mean, if you was in this position here, Brain, this is the second mid in a row, what would you do on the third mid? I'm jumping ahead of myself a bit. What would you do on the third mid?
I would go right side, go over the garage and just jump in. And perhaps send the Demoman on top, together with the 2 scouts.
We shall see on the third mid.
What should you do?
That would be telling, wouldn't it? Nice Uber by Sean, obviously just floating around his Demo and his soldier. The good thing here that Trick17 have not overextended, because obviously the temptation was there. Team OS Ubered quite a bit before Trick17, and the temptation could have been by the Demoman to actually go forward and out into that yard while the soldier was behind. So really well played by the Demoman not to actually go forward here, because the Demoman would have gone forward and got picked, and the other team, Team OS, would have come in on Trick17 and probably capped CP2. So it's a really well organised, bit of organisation there by Trick17. And you see they're not giving a lot away. At the moment they're not really giving anything to Team OS to work on. They're just going to build up their Uber here. This is pretty much a standard defence for Granary if you're holding inside. Medic around this area with the Demo soldier. The Roam soldier should be up in the garage. 2 soldiers shouldn't be this close to the medic at the moment. He's probably just moved to the garage now, which he is after he's buff. So you've kind of got a 3-3 defence, so they can't walk in for free. They shouldn't get any picks here. When I watch a lot of granary demos, this is the point here where a lot of teams throw themselves away. When you're holding the CP2 like this, you need to be very hard to break down. The other team need to break you down. You can see there that they picked off a scout pick quite cheaply. Perhaps Blitz could have survived there, but they've actually picked off a soldier and a scout in return for Trick17. So it's 5v5 at the moment. They picked off the demo and a soldier, so this is looking pretty good for Trick17, and you can see the advantage of being hard to break down. So say for example Trick17 had lost 2 scouts there, it would have ended very badly because 2 scouts have gone down, they've got numbers to push on, but instead by holding up they lost 2 players in that push, whereas Team OS lost 6. So it's actually a really nice defensive hold by Trick17. They forced Team OS to make a mistake in their push. They said, right, push on to us, we're a team of 6, we're going to hold firm. They forced a mistake by them. This is really nice play by Trick17. Obviously Team OS have got all the forward spawns, but if you look at the Uber advantage is very much heavily in their favour of Trick17 at the moment. So really enjoying this game at the moment. I think Trick17 seem to be very organised. I'm really enjoying the play with the pocket and the Demoman. Nice use of the Uber by Sean, obviously just coming straight through that right side. There's no reason not to do anything else with it, just in case of the stickies. Perhaps he could have been a little bit more patient and asked Scout to go through and check. If he'd lost the Scout, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Ideally with that sort of Uber advantage, what they would have wanted to do is take the yard for free without using the Uber, and then what you want to do with the Uber on a CP2 advantage is just push straight over the point, push your demo man in your pocket into their team, try and wipe their team out, or if not, just push them back out their next door, bring your 2 scouts onto the point and cap. So they've used the Uber to take the yard, but they actually can see the yard at the moment. And I think Trick17 would have been better just holding it at the back of that yards. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I can see the advantages of the Uber. But Sean's getting very split from his team at the moment. You can see the pocket and the demo are very split at the moment. It's just the demo man on his own with the medic. Obviously Team OS have not popped, they've just used their Uber now and Sean's just used his. It's 4v4. Pocket soldiers coming back into the fray, and you can see there that Team OS were probably a little bit greedy. They should have just fallen back. They're going to lose their demo and perhaps the medic at the same time in this situation, because the medic has tried to stay with his demo. It's not the right choice. I think the medic is going to survive on Team OS, but it's sometimes teams get a little bit too greedy. You have to realise when a push has completely failed, and Trick17 were quite comfortable holding there. There wasn't enough pressure around them, and now they pushed on and capped CP2. Interesting spam by Panama.
Let's call him.
Me first.
I don't like this position where he stands at the moment.
No, I do keep seeing this in demos at the moment, is on Granary CP2 you want to be holding at the bottom of the carriage. At the moment the sniper has a great sight onto Sean. A sniper could potentially take his head off. We're going to see a push in here. It's quite a decent push. My only criticism at the moment is the demo went a bit too far away from the soldier, but it's worked out alright for them. They've all got out, they forced the Uber, nothing ventured, nothing gains.
Yeah,
So it's going to... Yeah, they didn't lose anyone, so it is well played by Trick17. They realised the push had failed, and I think it's a nice call by them. That push probably wasn't going to work in the end. A nice choice by them. So in this situation you've kind of got 20 seconds here where nothing's going to happen. This is kind of like a little bit of dead air, so Blitz has gone for a suicide. I imagine he's probably going to go for a sniper. That sort of suicide is quite acceptable. I mean, the roam could go in as well and potentially suicide and swing something in your favour.
They got themselves a nice 25% Uber advantage by farming.
Yeah, and that is just from building. So you can see there, Team OS have not built at all. But Trick17 wouldn't be aware of this because, as far as they're concerned, the Ubers should be even. So Team OS are going to get away with this. But if Trick17 had pushed on that number, they would have got in. You can't really criticise Sean because he wouldn't have known that there was an Uber advantage. He can't know that they're not building. It's just a little bit silly there by Team OS. It could have cost them. They're actually going to run a heavy in Blitz. They're going to run a heavy. Heavy's quite handy on Granary Lost, but they've chose to Uber onto the demo. The Team OS medic has played quite smart here because he's trapped the demo man out of it, but in hindsight he stayed a little bit too long up there. Ooh. I think What Trick17 did well on that last push is that they had 3 people from the top, but they also pressured from the other angles. So the top created the medic just to use the solo Uber, while the other 3 poked in from the other sides. So it created more than one attack on Team OS, and obviously they didn't deal with what was important. They had to deal with the heavy, but there wasn't enough focus on the other players. So quickly running into the third mid now. So you called you would go right side after 2 failed mids. They have gone right side. The Demoman's just come out of ramp room. So the idea of going right side is to jump your soldiers quite aggressively onto the team. At least this time it's a 4v4 situation. They have picked off 2 players for Trick17, so a slightly better mid, but Sean is weak, so he's probably going to have to concede this. So it's a third mid where Trick17 have lost, but again, what's worked out okay for them is that Sean hasn't died on a mid yet, which is quite nice for him, so he's pretty much holding his team up, and Setlet has just gone down, which is the Team OS medic. I have no idea where the Demoman had his stickies there.
At the first gate.
Oh, at the first gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a blind death, I think.
A blind debt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call luck on that one.
Yes.
No skill, luck. Brain's jealous. I expect to see Brain using that on a PCW tonight.
Not tonight, maybe tomorrow.
So really nice by Trick17. They've picked off the medic, and where they held in the yard, they're in a position to move on that pick, which was nice. They weren't too defensive, so it was a nice positioning by Trick17. Should see them take the yard, perhaps here. Obviously watching from Sean's point of view, I'm not 100% sure what's going on where, but they've lost 2 players, so right again to fall back here. Just holding into CP3. Holding a very, very defensive CP3 actually. Kind of the positioning I would hold if I was facing an Uber disadvantage. He's got a slight Uber advantage, but again, it might have got a little bit lost in the exchange of the medic going down, spawning, etc. And it was a tiny advantage anyway.
Yeah. Just push, come on, push from the left. I hate this when
now
this
if you was
happens,
watching the American team, Brain,
yeah,
no problem. There's no stale in an American one that I watched. It's just all out nuts.
I would love to play that. Just go full balls.
You're not good enough. You're not even good enough for the open division.
For the what?
That's what we got, is the open division for the American one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They have a 3 division: invite, intermediate, and open. This team is kind of mid half of the open one. So very stale at the moment, and a lot of teams struggle with this. It's how to push the granary yards. I haven't got obviously the answers on the best push at granary yard. It's just kind of eking out a pick. It's perhaps just pushing down the left side, just getting out there, not dying to stickies like that from Tawks. Sean using his Uber and deciding to fall back from his soldier. He's probably going to lose his pocket soldier, but the pocket has made the medic pop, which is the only saving grace. Demoman definitely should not have died there. 17 remote Tawks should not have died there. He should let a scout check for those stickies. As soon as that Demoman went down, Team OS were experienced enough to know that they can push CP3, and just that Demoman kill there. And again, Tawks has taken out Setlet. Again with a sticky trap in the ramp room.
Yeah.
I think it was at the second door this time.
Yes, this time at the second door. It's pretty good. He waited.
But again, Trick17 are going to move on that medic pick.
Yeah, he waited until the medic passed by. He could have dead on the Demoman, but he waited for the medic. That's pretty nice timing.
Yep, so Tawks has completely redeemed himself after that death in the ramp room. He's completely redeemed himself. Sean holding on to his Uber with 4 HP.
Lucky bastard.
There's no luck in TF2, it's all skills.
Really?
From one medic to another, all skills.
Yeah, sure.
He was calculating that rocket and he thought if I took it at this angle I will take exactly 63 damage, which will leave me with 4. What? You don't play with a calculator at your desk?
No, not
I
really.
do. I do.
You really do?
I've got no room on my desk, it's full of... Oh, and Sean has gone down to a sticky trap on the crates.
Yes.
So at the moment it seems to be a battle of the Demoman. It's the battle of the Team OS Demoman against Tawks, the Trick17 demo, which is quite an interesting battle for the sticky traps.
The meta getting big.
It's not something you would expect to see sort of around the Division 3 level. Deaths like that from a sticky trap, it's not going to matter because Trick17 are going to pick up this round. Completely missed that fight, so it's really poor from me because I missed that fight. I was too excited about the Demoman killing Sean. So 2 drops for Sean at the moment on this map.
Yeah, but it isn't always his fault, you know.
It's your fault, Brain.
No, I think it's more the team's fault. That they're not checked stickies.
It is obviously a team responsibility to check for stickies, and it needs to be drilled into teams. They need to check for sticky traps. So you've seen a couple of sticky traps there already on Granary that have got the 2 medics down. So definitely Team OS and Trick17 will look back at this. So coming on to this mid, it's actually looking a lot better for Trick17. And the only difference is they've got out of this corner, they've bullied Team OS backwards. Settler went down quite early in this mid. When you do kill the enemy medic on middle point early as they did, what tends to happen is the other team will just probably go all out to kill your medic. So what Trick17 need to do is just kind of sit back next to their medic, next to Sean, just make sure he doesn't die. He's got a nice bit of defense and a scout and a soldier at the moment. I have no idea where the rest of his team has gone. I think they've already gone on to... Oh, he doesn't need his team.
Ooh.
Sean doesn't need his team. That's it.
Yeah, I was thinking about the blue team just getting in there and trying to get the force out of the meta.
Yep, and by doing this they've wasted 2 players so far to try and force this Uber.
Yes.
It needs to be understood that when you're trying to force the medic, you can only have a certain amount of players that try to force it. So 2 players is probably just about okay. Sean's going to use his Ubers here. Again, a sticky trap just spotted from his point of view on the wall. Obviously not got him this time. But Trick17 have done completely the right thing. You can see the difference there. They're going to pick up this last cap. The difference there, can we just pause for a second, Brain?
Yes.
I'm paused at 1958. If you need me to go forward a little bit. 1958 the time, or 79912.
79112.
They're all back at spawn, obviously.
Okay, I'm at the tick.
Okay, so I just quickly want to pause there because I just don't want to miss that little bit there that was quite important for Trick17. Obviously Team OS tried to send 2 people to pop the medic, which has not worked. So what it's done, it's not worked, and Trick17 have successfully taken the yard for free. So when you take that yard for free on Granary, the option that Trick17 had is they had the option to Uber into CP2. Most teams will stand on that right side. So most teams they would expect to come through, be standing on that right side. Sean's taken in a Demoman and a soldier. They've picked off the demo and they've picked off basically all the kills on that right side while the scouts have capped. So what happened there is Team OS sacked 2 people to pop an Uber which didn't get popped. So if you had seen from Team OS's point of view, those 2 people who were going to make them pop never worked together. The scout went in on CP3 whereas the soldier went in about 15 seconds later from the ramp room. And if you're going to sack 2 people, they need to work together and create, one creates a distraction and one is the person that's going to come in on the medic. And whereas there was no sort of cohesion there for Team OS, Trick17 were quite happy to defend their medic and they got 2 very free picks. Team OS gave them their picks. Easy enough for them to pick up the yard, and that's the difference. You saw a couple of rounds ago that Trick17 had to Uber through the yards. By the time that Uber had run out, they hadn't got into CP2. And the difference was that Team OS could hold that capture point because they hadn't come in with the Uber. So just a tip for people, when you're defending against an Uber disadvantage on Granary, even when you're trying to defend CP2, if you've got the option to take the yard and hold defensive as a medic, then that's what you want to try and do. But you want to be holding the position, so as a medic I'll be holding in the door, and I would have a team a little bit further forward. Those 2 people that suicided for me, they wouldn't have suicided, they would have gone to the defence. I would have had a 6-man defence on the yard with the sole goal of making them Uber. And if they Uber through the yards, the Demoman stickies, if they had to Uber through the yards, what would have happened is they would have wasted the Uber in the yards, had to push CP2 without an Uber, and I would have been able to hold on to CP2 probably just about, or I would have been able to hold on to last with an Uber charge eventually. Just didn't want to miss that little bit of feedback there. The key difference between taking the yard for free without the Uber and obviously having to use the Uber for yard is the difference between sort of taking CP2 and getting a good crack at the team and not taking CP2. If you are on that tick, Brain, I am ready to resume.
Yeah, me too.
3, 2, 1, resume. Just wanted to obviously try a little pause there because I seem to be rushing a few things that I keep missing. So going to watch the next midpoint here. Obviously Trick17 did very well at the last mids.
Yeah, he's coming on the left, I think, again. Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting how to see that.
You can see the blue demo's a lot slower than the red demo this time. The red demo's got a nice position, a little bit more forward onto, and he's got a nice bit of damage. And the scout follow-up there from Blitz has taken the Demoman down. They've also taken Setlet down again, so again it's this thing of the blue team are going to do everything they can to kill the red medic. They're going to do everything they can to kill Sean. So what Trick17 want to do is just hold tight, and you can see there that Moose Poos has actually got hold of the medic, and it's actually swung back to Team OS a little bit. Yes, Trick17 are going to pick up this midpoint, but they've lost their medic for it. So definitely an observation there.
What I can't believe is that the blue team didn't kill them all. Because they had the high advantage, they had a solid spamming on top, they had 2 scouts from 2 flanks. And they didn't focus the same targets.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely key. A lot of teams struggle with this focus fire aspect of the game. You know, you get one player shooting a demo, the other shooting the roam, the other shooting the pocket. You're never going to work very well as a team there, so definitely focus fire is a key thing in this game. You can see that Trick17 are facing an uber disadvantage, and Sean has opted to hold into this bit here in the ramp room, which is a wise choice because both 2 picks on each team here. It was a wise choice to hold into that ramp room because obviously he's got an escape point, so he's already thinking as a medic he's got somewhere to escape if the Uber comes in. He's not left himself in the open. He's not an easy pick. I doubt Team OS are probably not going to push this. There's no scouts to push. Scouts have died on both teams, so it's going to buy Trick17 the time to get their Uber.
Yeah,
actually got a spy going on from Blitz.
Do you want to follow him? He's
Yeah, let's
coming
follow
up
the spy. Let's give the spy his moment in the stars.
Yeah.
So Blitz has completely walked through. This is tense stuff.
Ooh. He's picked up the ammo. Again.
He's just gone for the back cap here. Actually a very nice choice by Blitz. He probably realised that the team were too far in front. He might have been picked up when they were trying to fall back, so a really wise choice just to go for the back cap. He's pulled the whole of the blue team back, and what he's done is created quite a large distraction for Team OS. They're trying to push midpoint while they're trying to think, do we need to fall back for that back cap? Obviously they know that he's a spy now. He has been spotted, I think. Oh, he just dodged that scout. He can't stay alive much longer. Surely not.
Nah. He's been spotted.
He's still alive. If he stabs the medic now. If he stabs he's actually given the medic a slice. Quite an interesting watch for the spy there. So it was a nice choice. Definitely a nice choice by Blitz to go for the back cap. He didn't have to obviously get a kill because his team have probably come that they pushed into the midpoint. Gonna see probably both teams are gonna have Uber. So Uber's been popped through the ramp room. Tawks has picked up a scout kill. 2 frags on either team.
We're gonna have the demo.
They're gonna pick the medic as well. No, they're not.
Come on. Yes.
No, they have picked the medic. And what you can see there is Team OS split an awful lot. So Team OS split themselves apart. They tried to obviously create a few targets for them to hit, but they should have fallen back a bit sooner. As soon as they realised that the Uber was on, it should be a great position to win this round.
Yeah, they're just gonna push on.
Yeah, they're just gonna push on to last here. No, see this for me is quite sensible. I like this from Trick17. Yes, they could have pushed on, but there's also the option for an Uber advantage push.
Yes.
So they're going to wait for the Uber advantage, and I think that's the right choice to do. I'd be a bit disappointed to lose Blitz there. I wouldn't want to be losing anyone if I've decided, and that you've lost a sniper. as well here, and now you've lost a scout. And what this has done, this has completely swung in the other favour of Team OS, because Trick17 were in a great position to push last there. They've picked up the Demoman now, but they've wasted their Uber to block that. And that's from 3 people choosing to do God knows what and die. And I think if they've been in a defensive position, they're now facing an Uber disadvantage. So the swing of this game here is from Trick17 being in a fantastic position to finish off this round, is now they're going to try and hold on to CP2. They're going to rely on basically someone doing something to swing it back in their favour. Nice position again by Sean, just holding it out in the yard is a good choice.
Yeah,
Team OS have Ubered into them, so now they're going to basically split up. Tawks has gone down the Demoman. The only thing from Team OS, they're not getting quick enough cap on that. They are now. It's not going to change the game, but Sean does have an Uber advantage now. So the only saving grace there is that Sean has played very well. He's got himself back out. He's going to have an Uber for CP3. Team OS are going to have nothing to push into. They're going to have to force the Uber off and see where it leaves them. Sean is probably going to... Yep, Demoman's just come, so Sean's going to go into this. Just use the Uber into this. Make sure he blocks. Obviously, Settler is in a position where he's probably going to go down to a soldier. No, he is not. The other soldier just come up and backed up Settler. And again there, for me, Tawks and the Pocket, they've played a very nice map so far, but they split quite a lot there. Tawks went to the right and the soldier went to the left. So instead of going in the same direction, they went in opposite directions, and Sean's got to pick one or the other to follow. He obviously picked the ramp room, and Tawks has gone down. They've lost their demo. They'll probably pick up this cap purely because they've picked up a few frags. So obviously there's quite a bit of individual skill in Trick17. Individual skills picking them off a few frags here and there, but at times the team play is a little bit, sometimes a little bit not very, sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's just a little bit silly. They lose people when they don't want to be losing people. Again, Team OS have just Ubered into them. This is really nice play from Trick17. They'll probably come back rounds and Uber into them, but they are not going to block CP2, so it'll be very interesting to see what they do with this. They're going to try and chase the medic down. Alright, a very nice choice by Tawks not to chase the medic any further. There is a soldier from Z. That must have been called. Sean is... Ooh.
He's going to get out.
Yeah, he's going to die.
No.
And I think that comes down from their 2 scouts have died again on that CP2 hold, but the scouts are obviously up to try and hold on to CP3. But you need to back for a... If you think back 3 minutes ago, they were in an Uber advantage position, ready to push last. So they should by rights be winning this at the moment 4-1. And for me, looking back at that, if that was our game, I'd be a bit disappointed that we haven't turned that fantastic position into a round win. And people need to get into this habit of turning advantages into round wins, especially Uber advantages like the one they had, and people need to stop suicide like that. Team OS have played extremely well there. They've just come round from the blind side of Trick17. Trick17 has spawned forward, they stayed out in the yards. Team OS have just taken the garage and are actually probably going to pick up this round.
Yeah, they didn't have anybody watching the right side, I think.
So now we're in a 3-2 to Team OS.
1 minute, 2 minutes left. It's gonna be
very interesting. So if Trick17, obviously this isn't official, if Trick17 went on to lose this, they would definitely look back at that CP2 and think, why on earth did we lose 3 players with an Uber advantage? Why? They would definitely be thinking of that, as would I be. I would be feeling a little bit gutted about that. But so obviously onto the mid. The 2 scouts from Team OS have gone very aggressive this time. They've obviously, and the soldiers gone with them. So Team OS are playing a very aggressive mids. They've pretty much gone all out for this to try and get the draw on the map. Trick17 were very grouped up in that corner. The only criticism I'd have of Team OS, they've lost their Demoman. If the Demoman was alive a bit longer, so whoever killed the Demoman on Trick17 has probably won them that mids, for the simple fact that if that blue Demoman was up and spanned pipes over into that corner, they would have wiped Trick17 because they were weak from that soldier. They'd all been pushed into one area, a spam area. Now Trick17 are probably going to pick up CP2 as well. Uber advantage. Uber advantage for last as well.
Yeah, just push, let scout cap.
Yep, so Team OS have actually had really good mids. That last mid went completely in Trick17's favour. They picked off the Demoman. They managed to defend their medic quite well. So it was actually quite nice from Trick17, opting to push last while the scout caps. No harm in this. I think it is already game 1. I think Team OS have got not a lot to defend this with. Setlet nearly getting a couple of he got a couple of slices, but one too few to get his Uber.
Oh, a nice headshot on.
Oh, Sean is coming in for the glory. Sean has come in for the glory. Sean for the glory cap.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. Are you behind me?
Yes, a little bit.
Oh, I cannot believe you're behind me.
Yes.
I've just ruined